Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Chironus Things. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the XTAR VX4. This is a new battery charger for me that I've been really looking forward to getting, and now that I got my hands on it, let's take a look. Let's look at what I've upgraded from. So I've been using this Phoenix ARE D1 for a few years now. It's served me very well, but as you can see, it's only a 1-bay charger. And though I do have larger battery chargers that are more than 1 bay, the only thing that they have is a screen basically to show you battery percentage, but there's no settings that you can do on it. There's settings that I can control on this Phoenix, yet it's still quite simple as well. It's been nice to use. You have to charge it via USB-B or micro USB. That is kind of redundant at this point, really annoying to carry around a USB-C or USB-B cable with you. So I've just gotten to the point where I've outgrown this. I mean, I outgrew it a long time ago, but I've still been doing it. It takes me a whole day to charge stuff because I have to charge like 20 batteries in one day, one at a time. And so let's look at actually size difference here, because I wasn't expecting, when I pulled this out, I mean, I knew it would be larger. I didn't realize it was going to be this big. So you can see there how much taller this is. I mean, this is basically, that screen is just so tiny compared to it too. This XTAR is massive, which I actually like. I like the fact that it feels so big, so durable. I really like this a lot. When we look at what the VX4 can charge, well, the answer is pretty much everything. So let's zoom in on this here, and you'll see they've given compatible batteries, and there's pretty much everything listed in there. And I'll say also that people are reporting that you can actually charge 26800s on here as well. Those are a huge battery and they're not listed on here, but multiple people have said that they've been able to make that work. So you're looking at any lithium ion 1.5 or 3.6 volt. You're looking at the nickel metal hydride battery, so basically like your rechargeable AA, stuff like that. And even the new LiFePO4 battery, which is huge and takes up this entire tray here. Yeah, so this charges pretty much anything you could possibly want to charge with it. This VX4 is not simply just a battery charger that you plug a cell in and then it tells you percentage and that's it, and you can't do anything with it. For example, like this right here, nothing wrong with this charger. You stick your battery in, it charges it, the screen simply shows you your percentage, and that's that. Very basic, but that's all you can do with it. With this XTAR, very different situation. This has a lot of different functions, but the two main functions for me and the reason why I really wanted this, the first one is the ability to bring a battery back to life. This seems to be, to me, like one of the most common issues we have with modern flashlights. I've almost made a video on this previous times, but it seems to me like these modern flashlights, as great as they are, is they're discharging the batteries on their own. So you really need to be careful to lock them out, to unscrew the tail, whatever you need to do, because the discharging on a lot of, now some of them are okay, but a lot of my flashlights, I've been surprised to go back and see that after a month, 2 months of not using them, and they were on full battery, have been discharged past the point where you cannot charge them in a basic battery like this right here, the battery charger. You can't just stick it in here and it comes back to life. It just won't even read it because it's too discharged. This, you can plug it in here, it's going to read it, you can set the amperage, and you can bring it back to life. Which brings me to the second major point of why I wanted this, and that is that you can set the amps that you charge your batteries on. So if I've only got one cell in here, I can choose how many amps I'm going to charge this on. Now the only thing is, you'll see that there's a times next to it. So 3 amps times 1, 2 amps times 2, 1 amp times 4, etc. That's because this is going to split up the amperage based on how many cells you have in here. So if you have 2 cells you're trying to charge at once, you can charge them at a maximum of 2 amps. For me personally, I almost never charge anything above 1 amp. I do the low and slow, and I like to be careful with my cells. And it's also great because you can go 1 amp, you can go lower than 1 amp, and that's really going to help you bring those batteries back to life if they have been overly discharged. So this is great for those 2 features. Let's look at how to use this VX4. So if you have a LiFePO4 battery, which like I said, I don't have one to use as an example, but if you do, it doesn't charge quite the same way. If you do have one, you would put it in your tray here, your cartridge, and then you need to hold CV and it will switch to the LiFePO4 mode. So make sure that you don't stick a normal cell in here and hold down CV, because then you're going to be trying to charge it via LiFePO4 and that's not going to work for you. Otherwise, if you're using, like, let's just say some standard lithium ion batteries, I've got a 18350 here and an 18650. So let's stick these in here, positive side up, and it should read these, and we'll go from there. All right, so both are in. So we've got our 18650 is read right now. It's currently at 4.15 volts, and you'll see it's between 75 to 100% battery, and there it is. And then on the 18350, that thing is completely dead, severely discharged. So we're going to bring that back to life. Now that they're in there, we could just technically walk away, leave it, and let it do its thing. However, like we said, you can actually control your settings here. So instead of holding CV to switch to LiFePO, we're simply going to press it. And that is going to allow us to control what we're charging this on. I'm going to move this to 1000 milliamps. And then you'll see it stops flickering after a second. And now it's charging it based on just under what I click. So it's going to charge at a maximum of 1 amp. We can also change the display by clicking mode. So you see what this does. Or the 2 settings is that we can switch back and forth between the charging current and the milliamps that are currently charged into the cell. Additionally, we can hold our MWH MAH button over here to turn the screen brightness off, and then do the same thing if we want to turn it back on. Additionally, there is a capacity test mode. So for that, you would actually hold the mode button. And what that does is you're going to fully charge the battery, and then it's going to discharge it and then fully charge it again. It's going to discharge it down to 2.5 volt and then fully charge the cell back up. So basically it discharges at 300 milliamps per bay. Regardless of how many cells are in the bays, that's what it's going to do. So it's going to be a bit slow. It's going to take a few hours based on the battery size. If you put a big enough battery in there, it might take the majority of your day. But so that is basically what that's going to do. Is going to give you an accurate measurement of how much capacity your battery actually has from full to empty. And if you do find yourself with an overly discharged battery, I recommend putting the cell in, letting it get detected on the battery screen, and then changing your amps down to a lower settings and bringing it back to life that way. So I've had some time with this. We're letting these continue to charge while I talk, and so I'm going to talk about what I love and what I think can be improved. So what I love is, first, this uses USB-C. After coming from micro USB, that's a big upgrade. I love being able to use USB-C now to recharge my battery charger. The fact that it charges everything. I mean, there's not a battery I can think of that I can't stick in this. It's going to charge everything I could possibly need. I can make this as simple of a process as I want, or I can make it as technical as I want. It's got a great design, and I want to point out, I really like this carry bag it comes with. Being able to put it in here to protect it, take it on the go. Look at that material it is. It's really, really nice. It's kind of like a pleather or whatever, but feels very good. I mean, this is a great little case. So I love it came with that. As far as what needs improved though, so I think for me, instead of using a universal setting, so when we press CV and being able to choose what amps we're charging this on, I would really like for it to be per bay. I'd like to be able to choose like bay 1, 2, 3, 4, and be able to choose what I'm charging each cell on. because right now you basically have to choose one setting for all your cells. It's not that big of a deal to me because I pretty much charge everything on 1 amp, like that's just my go-to. But I can see how if you're an enthusiast and you have, hundreds of lights, how that might be an issue. So that is one thing I would say I'd like to see improved, would be to be able to choose my charging amps based on bay and not just universally. Other than that though, I really like this thing. It's a huge upgrade from where I'm coming from, and I really like that Phoenix that I have. But this is now my go-to. I'm very happy with it. I know that there's like one other brand out there that I can think of. I think it's Vapcell or Vapcell. I don't know how to pronounce it. They've got good stuff too, but for me, I really like XTAR. That's why I went with them. And for me, they're just a really good brand. So let's talk about price here. We are looking right around $40 on this. Hard for me to say because it looks like it just went out of stock. I think there was a sale recently on Amazon. So the price isn't showing for me, but I'm sure they'll be back in soon. I want to say it was like $40, $41, $42 before the sale. So I think that's full price. I think that's a great deal for what you're getting on this. This is going to last you forever. It's going to do everything you could pretty much need it to. And yeah, I highly recommend going with this option. Thanks so much for watching and have a great week.